right, so we are in Nashville, getting ready to eat before we go to the expo, and I'm really in favor of leaving before Bojack here comes to life.
And if you are ready for this road trip, then you are ready for this fucking road trip. I am Joe, that is Dan, that is Jeff, and this is going to be my last introduction probably for the next 4 hours.
Oh Jesus, we're not recording all of this.
Yes, the entire 16-hour trip.
It's not going to be 16 hours.
It's 5 hours there and 5 hours back.
Nice. Buddy told me some way to take through the back roads, but I don't pay attention very well, so not anymore.
Dan just mentioned the McFat stop, so
yeah, we're gonna get some shit to eat.
McFatness.
Am I gonna turn right?
Full disclosure, it's 5 a.m.
Which means cut this fucking thing for now. Rock N Pod Expo 2017, first stop, Bob Evans. Jeff, how was the drive?
Considering I did all the driving, it was excellent.
Dan, your thoughts?
I'm just waiting for food.
Okay, so Roots, Bloody Roots, or Chaos AD?
Well,
Chaos AD all the way.
The Chaos AD.
Okay, so that's going to be a preview of next week's episode. I don't have anything else to say right now, so I'm going to say food incoming, coffee already here.
And broken dishes.
Alright guys, Discography Discussion, discussmetal.com at the Rock N Pod Expo in Nashville. We've been here for about 2 hours, Jeff and Buddy.
Yeah, it's been about that.
And
we just saw Josh Toomey from Toomey do a nice little ditty on a podcast I think I'm going to start paying attention to called Drunken Lullaby.
Yeah.
It's great. It's all about music and drinking beer, so what's better than that?
This is really fucking cool in here because it's vendors with records, a ton of vinyl. I've seen a few cassettes, CDs. I know there's supposed to be bands here signing, but it's been it's that mixed crowd that's into rock and metal, and everybody's here for that reason. I picked up Ziggy Stardust, and I picked up Alice Cooper, and I had to pay $3 for a can of PBR. I am ashamed of that.
There are a lot of people who are fans of Kiss here. I've never seen so many Kiss podcasts in one area.
Yeah, I think this all started as a Kiss podcast expo, and it just kind of expanded. But you know what? I like Kiss, so if you don't like him, go fuck yourself.
Who doesn't like Kiss?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Kiss, but I like Kiss.
I like some of their music. It's all right.
Well, I'll tell you what, there wouldn't be commercialized metal if it wasn't for Kiss, so.
There wouldn't be commercialized rock music if there wasn't for Kiss.
That's true.
I mean, hey, by the time we get done listening to this thing, we might have all, decided, hey, we're Kiss super fans now.
I mean, have you put the down payment on the Doomhammer underwear yet?
No.
You should. The Doomhammer jockstrap.
It's gotta be a little big.
I hope they do this again next year. It's actually better than I thought it would be. So for their first year, I think they've done a pretty good job. So
yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, here's hoping for year number 2.
Follow up later. All right, dude, so Heavy Metal Parking Lot's going to be coming up in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We got to hang out with Josh Toomey a little bit.
Yeah, it was fun.
So what else is going on?
To a bunch of cool people. Not too much. I just bought some Slayer records, and I'm excited about those. South of Heaven and Rain in Blood, original pressings.
I got myself
won't get into how much they, cost, but
I got myself a copy of Alice Cooper and Ziggy Stardust.
Nice.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah. We're getting ready. What did Jeff get on vinyl?
Oh, I got Chimera, motherfucker.
Nice. Keeping it brutal.
That's the only way to go, baby.
Right. Whatever, dude.
Chimera's all about harmonized vocals. And you wonder why I bought it.
Right.
So yeah, what is Heavy Metal Parking Lot about?
I guess we'll just have to watch the movie and find out, Joe.
To be continued. So buddy, what's going on right now?
Well, it seems like after we watched Heavy Metal Parking Lot, they can't seem to get the screen up. And so
It's gonna be an audio panel.
there it goes.
Yeah, I really wish we could have got a picture with Toomey and a goodbye.
That's cool. But yeah, that was a hell of a lot of fun. What did you think, Dan?
Yeah, it was fun. Got to meet a lot of cool people.
Holy shit, that was fun.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it yet, you gotta watch Heavy Metal Parking Lot, because that was fucking awesome. And little does people know that the Wolverine starred in that, and if you listen to the podcast in full, you will understand why.
Yes, you will. We are going to start our 5-hour trek home. We would like to say sorry to Joshua Toomey that we did not get to say goodbye, but he was interviewing and doing his Talk Toomey thing.
Are we right?
And so we did not want to interrupt that greatness. We will wait for it like everyone else.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to check that out, because we'll just give you one hint. Badass producer. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
So, Josh, sorry for not saying goodbye.
He had more important
That's okay,
things to
man.
do.
I had that. Man, I went from like not talking to anybody to pretty much talking to everybody on the podcast. Like, I just was at one point, people were walking by, and I'm like rapping them. I mean, if you guys would have stuck around, I went from, like I said, talking to nobody to talking to everybody. So, would have been fun to have you guys on for a minute.
Yeah, I would have lived my dream of being on the Talk To Me podcast.
So here's the big question: did you get Rex on?
Yeah, I guess he never showed up. I never saw
he didn't.
him. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he showed up after we left or
going
not.
around, but he never showed.
Oh, okay.
Bummer. I mean, I wouldn't have been bummed out,
Yeah,
but
I'm sure you guys are all right with that.
Yeah.
Well, my problems with Pantera do not lay with Rex.
You've been in the room with greatness.
Yeah. Well, it would have been funny. Who knows? Maybe it's my fault. Like, wait, so who else there? Well, we weren't officially there, so he would have never known. But yeah, as if he would have given a shit anyway. But yeah, like that. No, dude, that would have been interesting. Like too, because like as much shit as I talk, I'm like a keyboard warrior, right? Nobody listens to my podcast, right? So yeah, I'd have been like, it's very nice to meet you. Like, oh my God, do you know who you are? Yeah, like.
Oh my God, I love all your albums.
I love every single one of them. Do you still talk to Phil? Me and Phil are so tight. Yeah, like.
The sad part is you could probably go through the discography and be like, oh man, on this album you did this, and on that album you did that, even though you're not a super fan.
Absolutely. Like, I know Pantera shit in and out. Like, and actually, I mean, I'm still not opposed to like sometime in the future us actually doing a for real album by album discussion on Pantera, and I'll be good.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, man. The Nashville Rock N Pod Expo, man. I went down not knowing what I was going to find. Jesus Christ, can't even speak tonight. I'm still drunk from Saturday. No, the Nashville Rock N Pod Expo went down not knowing what I would see and what would happen. So I kind of went in. Year one, I just kind of wanted to feel it out. I didn't really set up a live podcast. I didn't really set up any interviews. I just wanted everything to kind of happen, organically and naturally. And, I ended up sitting down with Toby Wright and Steve from Skin Lab and Kenny Olson, who played guitar with Kid Rock, and some of the local legends in Nashville. This dude named Frank Sass. He's a huge. If you ever played a show in Nashville, he ran your sound at some point. He's been a famous sound guy since like the late '80s. Sat and talked with him for a while. Like I said, I started talking to all the random podcasts. So I'll weed through it and see if there's anything there, because at one point, man, we were just passing the mic around and yelling about Van Halen, and the guy that wrote the Van Halen book jumped on for a minute, and we were giving him shit about Gary Cherone, but it turned out to be a lot of fun, man. Sold you guys a few shirts and had a few drinks and met a lot of cool people, and including yourselves in person, man. That was the coolest part to me was actually meeting all the people that I listen to on a weekly basis, in person and putting faces with voices. I always thought that was cool.
Dan, Jeff, what about you guys?
First off, I like Gary Cherone, so I'm terrible. So I have to say that part first. But yeah, I liked the fact that it was as big as it was. I wasn't expecting to have all the vendors and everything there with all the vinyl, and actually being able to meet people that I can relate to that like the same music I do and want to talk about it and are excited about it. And I guess that's part of the reason why we started the podcast, was being able to have that connection with other people. So it was just kind of cool to, meet new faces that felt the same way that we did about music. So that was my big takeaway, is just the camaraderie. I really enjoyed that part of it.
Well, I was just really happy to be out of the house with no screaming kids. But I mean,
Nice.
I think for me it was it was really cool, and like it's weird because I'm not like as outgoing, I think, in real life as I am on the podcast, and so it was I was a little nervous at first, like just talking to people and stuff, and like, you know, just trying to get, you know, kind of a vibe for how it was going. And like Jeff said, I was really surprised at like how many people were there, and like, because again, it's like first year, and like I know it was crowdfunded, so there was at least going to be some people there, but we didn't really know, and we're actually really surprised, and we were actually surprised too, like that people, you know, were very as outgoing as they were. Like people would come up to us and ask us if we were part of a podcast, you know, and that was that just blew my mind, you know, like that was like, wow, you know, that's cool. And we got it was really cool getting to meet Dustin from Drunken Lullabies. He really we really buddied up with him a lot during that because of our mutual love for being intoxicated, and you know, it was it was a ton of fun, and it was funny too. Me and Jeff were basically taking bets on whether or not that dude from Skin Lab could rip us apart with his bare hands, or, you know, like, you know, if he could break us in half, because he's just such a big dude. And I knew immediately that it was him, you know, because I was just like, yeah, like look for the biggest, scariest guy in the room, but also like the nicest, you know. So
Absolutely. Yeah, my wife was like, I can't believe how nice he was, and you know, he made sure to say bye to everybody and stuff like that. So yeah, Steve has always been a great guy, and he's a very intimidating dude, but yeah, he's always been great.
Did you have a highlight, Josh?
Actually, another part that I kind of wanted to talk about too was not only were all of the podcasts there, down for the cause, and when we're talking to everybody, but all of the artists that came down, Mark Slaughter came down, and you know, that's a huge name in a lot of worlds, maybe not in your world, or not necessarily even in my world, but in the pantheon of music and of someone that's been doing this for years and years. He came down, he was talking to everybody, he was sitting down with a lot of the podcasts. You know, he was playing the game, and I thought that was fun to watch. Kenny Olson, play guitar, all of the multi-bazillion platinum Kid Rock stuff. You know, he was going podcast to podcast. Toby Wright, who sat down with me, produced some of my favorite albums. Worked on Injustice for All, Seven Dust Home, Korn's Follow the Leader, all that stuff. He actually had to wait almost an hour because I had donated my recorder to the Rock N Pod Expo, so they were doing the live shows onto my recorder. So he actually stood and waited for like almost an hour to sit down and talk with me. And someone asked him a question, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting to do this interview, and then I'm getting out of here." So it was cool that nobody was kind of big time in the thing, and everybody just seemed to be there and having a good time. And I thought it was great, man. I cannot wait for next year. And I thought the venue was great. I thought the venue was exactly what that needed. It was kind of flea markety, it was kind of dirt mally, and for the first year of a Rock N Pod Expo, I think it was a smashing success.
Well, I'm glad that he had to wait that hour to talk to you, because it gave me the opportunity to ask him about working with Tantric. So I got an education on producing records from the standpoint of, is it okay to use a live performance versus a tracked performance? So for all those aspiring record producers out there, if the band can't do it again better, just go with what you got. Save yourself the time. And I was overwhelmed by the vinyl. It made me laugh to see one guy sitting over on the side listening to 70s funk, and on the other side is the guy in the fedora hat with the insane amount of 70s and 80s rock and metal records.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should have went over to those guys and actually spent my money on that, not on the Miller Lite. But the one thing about going back to Toby Wright real quick, I thought was funny. I was interviewing him. Of all people, like his mic control, like the mic was everywhere. It was down by his side. It was up by his mouth. It was, he would talk with it. He would move it around. Like he had the worst mic control.
That is funny.
For
Maybe
someone
he'd
that's
had a few of the Miller
records
Lights.
vocals and voices for a living. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Yeah, next year too, we're definitely going to be a little bit more proactive as far as actually asking to be part of it or
cool.
trying to get involved in whatever way we can, because I kind of feel like if we ever decided to do a KISS discography discussion, I could not think of a better place to do that live. You know what I mean? Like that, I feel like that would really be cool, and maybe people would like us. I don't know. Oh, it would definitely be the After Midnight show for sure. Yeah.
And they have like 30 albums, so it'd be like the 9-part KISS discography discussion.
Yeah, if we're gonna do KISS there, we definitely have to get a hotel.
Just so we can hide from everybody when they decide to chase us down with pitchforks.
No, because I won't be able to drive home because I'll be so pissed drunk after doing that much.
Oh no, dude, we're not. This is not going to be another Pantera. I mean, this is. I'm going to be really, 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 really nice.
And the other thing on my end, and I'm not trying to be big time or whatnot, but one cool thing was seeing people that actually listen to the podcast, or people that come up and say, "Oh my God, you're the guy from Talk To Me. I read your stuff on Blabbermouth. I listen each week," and people showing me their phone and showing me that they're subscribed. And even when I did a few other, I went on to a couple of other podcasts, and everybody, not as nice as the Discography Discussion calling me a podcast legend, but it was it was very close and very humbling, to think this started in a basement 2 years ago as just like I think I'm going to do a podcast, and kind of built it to what it is today. So next year when you guys are down there and everybody's like, "Oh shit, Discography Discussion is here," we're all going to be in happy room together.
Oh God, it's these fucking guys.
It'd be more like, "Oh shit, the Discography Discussion's here."
I'm just waiting for us to show up and them to say, "So who are you guys here with?" "Oh, we're the guys from Discography Discussion." "All right. So you're Joe." "Yeah." "You're Jeff." "Yeah." "And you're Dan." "Yes." "Hey everybody, it's that asshole who doesn't like Pantera!" And then we have to run at high speed to get out of there.
I kind of thought that's what was going to happen this weekend.
I don't think Josh had prepared the mob yet.
He hadn't got the game yet. That's actually why we left early, right?
I was about to say that.
Yeah, you were just a few beers later.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah,
what, 2
you get
beers
too far
away
into
from
it,
that?
I would have called you out in front of everybody.
This has been a discussmetal.com recap of the 2017 Rock N Pod Expo in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you for listening to Discography Discussion and for subscribing. If you are not a subscriber, you can find everything Discography Discussion at discussmetal.com. We are on Google Play. We are on iTunes. We are on Stitcher. We are on TuneIn Radio. So if you have an Amazon Echo product, you can say to it, "Alexa, play the latest episode of Discography Discussion," and she will. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter at Discuss Metal. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. It really helps us out, and it lets us know you're listening. If you are not a patron, you can become one at patreon.com/Discuss Metal. We have some sweet perks. And again, we had a blast in Nashville, meeting up with Josh Toomey of the Talk To Me podcast, meeting Dustin Wickoff of Drunken Lullabies, Decibel Geek podcast, and everyone else. Thank you so much. We will see you guys in the future and talk to you soon. I also want to give a shout out to Twisted Maidens Designs for custom handmade jewelry for all you metal fans, guys and gals. Look them up on Facebook. Again, that is Twisted Maidens Designs. Discography Discussion will return in a few days with a new episode. We talk about the Mars Volta with Andrew Schwab of Project 86.